brought me to Brandeis, definitely the people. Visited campus, was walking around, and connected with the players really well. I actually remember specifically a moment where my mom and I were trying to find our car, and we were walking through campus and we were so lost. And we actually ran into 2 women's soccer players, and they were like, "Hey, you guys seem lost, can we help you?" And they actually walked my mom and I all the way back to our car down here in Gosman, and the questions that they were asking, just so genuine and kind, and I was like, these are the people, these are the people. As a young female athlete, I had these women in my life who I saw coaching teams and holding positions that typically men have. Denise was pivotal in me becoming a coach, becoming a head coach, and learning what is required to become successful. She played such an important role in who I am, and one thing she always taught me was, Mary, recruit good players, but also make sure you're recruiting good people. And I think that was her biggest impact on me and why our team has been so successful. You know, I'm really fortunate enough that I was able to go to Brandeis. I've been in my players' shoes. I know the challenges that they experience in the classroom, in the community, and I really try to put myself in their shoes and understand what they're going through. And I think, yes, at times they need somebody who's gonna push them and challenge them and get them out of their comfort zone, but I also think they need somebody to lean on. My view of mentorship has evolved. I viewed mentorship as helping people and guiding them, and because I was guided. And I think, how I view it now is that it's helping people make decisions, helping them make sure that they have the right resources, but also that they have the right support. And having somebody who has your back and who's a mentor for you is critical. This book, Tuesdays with Morrie, the journey that Mitch and Morrie go on is something that inspires me and that I want to provide to my players, that bond that, 10, 20, 30 years down the road, they feel comfortable, confident enough to come back to me. That's my why. My goal is to help them grow as young women and be prepared for that next step in their life. Having these really strong female figures mentor me, and then now me having the opportunity to lead Sabrina, it shows me the legacy that you can create with your actions and with your impact, and how we all have the ability to change lives. Sab, I know we've talked a little bit about all of this and the importance of relationships, mentorships, menteeships. How have your relationships, here at Brandeis, how have they developed, and how has soccer, played a role in that?
I feel like I'm just a very outgoing person, so coming here I was excited to make new friends and excited to have all these teammates and everything. I am not really thinking about, I feel like even if I have immediate stress and long-term things that I'm stressing about, trying to focus as much as I can on making the people around me and my relationships with people around me the most important thing, because that's really all that you can hold on to at the end of all of this and
this journey.
Life, that's really going to be the only thing that matters. And especially when I have been injured for I feel like the majority of my time here, which has obviously sucked, but I felt so connected to this team, especially knowing that I had to come back from taking time off for mental health, and knowing that I was ready to just fully immerse and be connected with the team. And I'm glad if it was me, or at least that I had the chance to have that kind of laid back position where maybe I wasn't able to incorporate or be as impactful on the field, but I did have a role outside of that. And whether or not I was injured, being injured allowed me to focus more on that. And
the relationship
yeah,
piece.
exactly.
And those special moments where you might not be able to put the ball in the back of the net, but you're able to encourage somebody who might be going through something similar, or who might be, struggling with their own injuries. And I saw you take on that role, and you're facing your own adversity, but you have this selflessness piece of, hey, these relationships are above that individual. individual piece. And I think that's something that I admire about you. And I think Seb, the other thing that I really am inspired by is your ability to have, open, honest, vulnerable conversations. We say, can we get out of our comfort zones to grow? And to do that, you have to open up. You have to be willing to share. And I think you've been somebody who's really comfortable to share.
You actually played such a large piece and a role in that, because it was obviously mental health is super important to me, and it wasn't until I spoke with you during my sophomore season and you were like, hey, can we talk about what's going on? Because I clearly had bags under my eyes and my very pale, I didn't sleep a lot of hours, and it was nice that somebody was able to let alone my coach, notice that there was something up. And if it wasn't for you to sit me down and have that conversation, I would have never opened up. I would have never seen a therapist. I would have never sought help afterwards. And
make me tear up, Sabrina.
No, that literally was the start of my whole recovery journey. And that it's so much of the reason why I'm the person I am today, So thank you for that.
You make it easy to care about you. I think it's my role as a coach to care about you. I think, that was a learning experience for me too. And, I wouldn't have been able to help you if you weren't open and honest enough to receive that help. And I think your ability to create relationships and, care about me as well, I felt that. And so it's so much easier to offer a hand when you know that that connection is there. Mm-hmm. And I've seen you do that with your teammates. And I think that's what inspires me. I asked you to do this because of the connection we made. And I am so grateful, not only for you to be a part of this team, but to be a part of my life. I see the relationship between Mitch and Morrie, and, I would love for our relationship to emulate that, because I can see the impact that people can have on each other. And I think, one of my takeaways was, yes, Morrie had all of this impact on Mitch about life, but I also think Mitch had this impact on Morrie and gave him life and brought to life these special moments that they shared together. And, he was his partner till the end. And I see that with our relationship, Sabrina.
I definitely do too. I definitely see both of us playing both of those roles, because I've loved being able to watch you grow from being an assistant coach to a head coach. I have grown up with you on this team, and you've been someone that I can really lean into and trust and speak to about things and know that it will be okay at the end of the day. You definitely have taken the challenges that we've faced and have adjusted from them. And that's if that's not what this book is about, then I don't know what is.
Wow, the amount of tears I've had to hold back in this conversation.
Yeah, I'm very
Sabrina.
lucky they're not just falling.
Yeah,
right
me
now.
too. I think I just messed up my makeup, maybe a little bit. Your growth, Sabrina, it's been a beautiful experience to watch. Seeing you come in, and face your own challenges, your own adversity, and you evolve and grow into this incredible human being that's a leader, that's, academically driven, that has these aspirations to help the world. That drives me. That motivates me to be the best coach I can be. That space out there is our classroom. And seeing you tackle and work hard in that classroom every single day, I'm what more could you ask for as a coach? Wow, so I'm really honored for you to be a part of my journey and to experience my growth, and for me to experience your growth.
Thank you.
I hope that my relationship with Sabrina allows her to become a mentor someday. She already has, to be honest. But I think, 5, 10, 15 years down the road from now, I'm excited to see what she's able to do and the lives that she can impact. That's the special piece of all of this is, yes, we're coaches, yes, we're, trying to win games, but we're also trying to change lives in a really great way.